Hello, my yogi friends. Welcome back to the channel. It's Living Peace Yoga. If this is your first time visiting the channel, we welcome you as well. Down below, you'll see a red box that says subscribe. It would be ever so helpful if you could hit that. Also, if you like this content that we're about to bring you today, it would be also forever grateful if you could hit the thumbs up button showing that you like the content, so that we can continue to bring content your way. So today, as I tape this video and this practice for you, it is my mother's birthday. And so I would love to just publicly wish her a happy birthday. If you would like, write in the comments below that you wish her a happy birthday as well. In tonight's practice, you're going to need a couple of blocks, which I will have ready. You need a couple of pillows or a bolster. And then also, I believe that's it for tonight. So just a couple of blocks and a bolster, and then a blanket if you so choose. You don't have to have one. It's not necessary for the poses, but it can definitely make the poses that we're going to do a little more comfortable or comfy. So please get into something comfy, roll out your mat, and we're gonna hop in and do some yoga. So welcome back to some much needed self-care and some much needed yoga for this evening. So tonight we're going to start in a Shavasana type pose. I had mentioned in the intro that you needed 2 blocks, place them side by side, lengthwise, so that they're actually on their shortest stance, but the longest. Place them side by side. And then place your pillow, bolster, whatever you grabbed, even the pillow off your bed is fine. But go ahead and place that bolster over those blocks, and then we're going to move into a Shavasana type pose. So we're going to throw those legs up over onto the bolster. And we're going to lay back onto our backs as we get started. Here's where a blanket would become comfy and nice if you prefer a blanket over you, or you can place it just on your abdomen for some weight. Sometimes that feels good as well. But otherwise, we can just sink into that mat, sink into the earth, starting to shut the mind down and coming to that place of stillness. We're going to come to the breath. Slowing the breath down. Really thinking about the inhale and the exhale. And now we're going to complete a little scan of the body. So what I want you to do is start at the tip of your head and just scan through to your chin. Where do you find that there's tension? Where do you find that there's still gripping? Where do you find that the muscles are contracted? And I want you to soften those. Good. Now we're going to scan the top of the shoulders in the same fashion. Do you find that maybe one is scrunched up more than the other? Tuck that down and back. Do you find that the muscles are tight up at the top of the shoulders? Try and let those fall deeper to the mat, relaxing those muscles. Now moving down to the lower back and hip area. Do you feel tension? Or again, where maybe the muscles are contracted? You can either give your bum a little tilt forward, changing the direction of the tailbone, or you can just soften through that area, allowing more weight to float into the mat. Now let's move on down to our legs. Are they in a nice relaxed posture? Or are they bent and contracted? Can you feel maybe the weight of your calves become heavy to the pillow or bolster that's beneath them? And then lastly, moving to the feet. Now that the entire body has come to this place of stillness, there really should not be much tension in the feet. Maybe they turn in an outward posture, letting go of those contractions that lead us to tension. Good, and one last thing, go ahead and let the tongue come off the roof of your mouth. Melting into the mat. Good. Now we're going to bring a little life back to the body. So go ahead and rotate those feet in a counterclockwise position. Good. And then stop where you are, rotating them back to a clockwise position, rotating the ankles. Just getting some nice movement. Good. Now start with the wrists, moving in a clockwise position along with the ankles, warming up the hands and the feet. Good. Now stop moving the feet. Let them fall to a neutral position. Continue with the hands. Stop where you are, counterclockwise with the wrists, moving them around. Gaining some space where maybe tension has fallen. Good. And then very slowly, we're going to make our way back up into a seated posture. So up to simple seated. I'm going to place my bolster and my blocks to the side. But keep them handy because we're going to need them again in this practice. So take in a big deep breath and bring both hands up to the top. Bring those hands together, bring them down on through to heart center. Awesome. As we flow through this next portion of our practice, feel free to keep your eyes closed. I'm going to start with our reading tonight. But for those practicing with me, I'm going to start you into a flow that you'll flow through as you listen to my words. So place that left hand on the mat next to your left leg. We're going to reach our right arm up and over, and then we're going to reach those right fingertips to the left side of the mat. Really feeling a nice right side body stretch. Awesome. Okay, and then we're going to flow to the other side. So right hand next to the right leg, left hand coming up, reaching to the heavens. Good. And then reaching those fingertips to the right side of the body, dropping that right shoulder down, feeling that left side body stretch. And then this is the flow that I just want you to continue at your own breath pace. So moving those arms as if you're moving through water, flowing them to either side of the body. Good. Continue there, friends. Your heart's desire. I love different translations of the Bible, as you are aware. And in the NLT translation, Psalm 37:4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you your heart's desire." And then in 37:5, it says, "Commit everything you do to the Lord. Trust Him, and He will help you." Good. So hopefully you're still maintaining, moving those arms from side to side. Good. Awesome. Bring that left hand up to meet the right hand. Bring those hands together. Bring them on through to heart center one more time. We're going to move into a tabletop position. So moving into all fours. Reminding you of the posture, the wrist under elbow, elbow under shoulders, knees under the hips. Good. We're going to break through down into some cat-cow. So let those hips drop down, or the belly drop down to the mat. Those hips up towards the heaven, tilting up the head. Good. As you inhale, and then as you exhale, press those shoulder blades back towards the ceiling. And then we're going to flow through that at your own breath pace. Inhaling for cow, exhaling for cat. There we go. Mama, thank goodness for editing, right? Right. Good. Okay, we're going to come up into a plank pose. Good. This might be a little difficult of a pose, but we're going to work towards being adventurous in our practice tonight. So we're going to lift the right arm up and forward, hand out in front, and we're going to lift that left leg up off the mat. Really knitting in those ribs. Good. And place back to center. Pulling in that abdomen. This is some core work, and core work is needed to maintain some of these postures. Go ahead and reach that left hand forward and lift that right leg up off the mat. Good. And then bring it back down. Place those knees to the mat. Bum to the heels. We're going to move into a child's pose. Good. Come back up to center. Place those hands up into all fours. We're going to curl those toes and move into our first downward facing dog. So this is our first hamstring stretch. So of course we're going to allow ourselves some grace and mercy by pedaling out those feet. Good. And then once you place those hips back, we're actually going to rotate the hips from side to side. So place them to the left or right side of the mat. And then the left side, of course, we're going to move with our breath as we move those hips. Just still warming up the side bodies as well as the hip and low back area. Good. Moving through that. Awesome. We're going to come back to center. Look to the top of the mat. We're going to walk, hop, skip, jump, forward, fold it out. Good. Taking a nice inhale for me. Come to a halfway lift. As you exhale, we're going to fall deeper into the pose. Good. Moving forward in the practice. Advancing that bend. Good. Taking a big deep breath. We're going to stand up, arms up overhead, hands coming together, and then coming down into a chair pose with hands at heart center. Good. We're going to take that right foot and we're going to extend it back. So hands at heart center, right leg extended back, bending into the left knee. So warrior one footing with prayer hands. Awesome. Good. We're going to take a big deep breath in, arms up overhead. We're going to come back forward with that right leg. Sit back into your chair pose. Good. Taking a nice inhale. And then we're going to exhale as we forward fold it out. This feels so yummy today, friends. I think I needed the stretching a little more than I thought I did. Good. Take a nice inhale. Come to a flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold it out. Try to go a little deeper into the pose. Maybe if you're not touching the mat yet in your forward fold, maybe reach further towards the mat. If you're now touching the mat, maybe reach back behind the feet. Good. Taking a nice inhale, we're going to stand up once more. Bring those hands together. Bring them on through to heart center as we extend that left leg back. Right leg bent, bending into that right leg. Just be careful not to move that right knee forward of the right ankle. Good. Taking a nice inhale. We're going to bring those hands back up along with the left foot to meet the right, and exhale into our chair pose. Good. Taking a nice inhale. Exhale, forward fold it out. Good. Inhale. We're going to halfway lift. Exhale. We're going to forward fold it out. We're going to extend those feet back to plank. We're going to move through our vinyasa. So coming into a plank pose, coming down into that chaturanga push-up and up dog. Good. And then curling those toes, moving back to a downward facing dog. Good. Press those hips back behind. Good. We're going to look to the top of the mat. Walk, hop, skip, jump. Forward, fold it out. Good. Taking a nice inhale for me. We're going to come up to a half lift. Hands to the shins, extending that spine out long. Good. And then exhale, forward, fold it back out. Again, try to move deeper into that forward fold. However that looks for you or feels for you. Maybe tonight's just not your night to do a deeper forward fold, and that's okay too. Good. Taking a deep breath, move those hands all the way to the top. Good. We're going to bring them through to heart center, and we're going to move into another chair pose. So chair pose, hands at heart center. And then when you're ready, we're going to come up off of those heels, balancing on the toes in a diverse pose, as if we're going to dive right off the front of our mat here. Good. Utilizing the quadriceps and the glute muscles to stabilize those legs, to minimize the shaking while you're up on those toes. Easier said than done, I realize. Good. Bring those heels back to the mat, and we're going to extend that right leg out back one more time. Bring those hands up to the top as you inhale. Bring them on through to heart center as you exhale. Good. We're going to step that right leg forward. We're going to take a big deep breath in, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward, fold it out. Good. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward, fold it out. Maybe move deeper into that forward fold. Take a big deep breath in, arms up overhead. We're going to extend that right leg back, or left leg back, sorry. And we're going to bring those hands through to heart center. Good. This feels so yummy. Good. Awesome sauce. We're going to take that left leg and we're going to bring it up back to the right. We're going to move through our vinyasa. So a big deep breath in, arms up overhead. Exhale, forward, fold it out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward, fold it out. We're going to extend those feet back to a plank pose, moving through our flow, coming into up dog, and then back to downward facing dog. Good. We're going to rock forward into a plank. We're going to knit those ribs together. We're going to pull that belly button towards the spine. Good. And then place the knees down to the mat, uncurl the toes, and come all the way down. Good. We're going to come up into a little baby cobra, so hands at your sides, just about at the rib length. We're going to press our chest and our head up off the mat, feeling that nice back bend. Good. And then release that and place your head right to the mat, placing the forehead down. Good. One more time. We're going to come into a little cobra. So pressing just gently off the mat, just getting up to the chest area. Gaze is straight ahead, or our dristi, which is gaze is straight ahead. Head up towards the heavens. Good. And then as we exhale, bringing it back to the mat. I want you to extend your arms out in a T formation. Good. On the count of 3, we're going to lift our head, we're going to lift our hands, and we're going to lift our feet. getting that low back. So 1, 2, and 3. So lifting both arms up off the mat, lifting both legs up off the mat, lifting the head. Now, can you go a little deeper in your practice and lift everything up just a touch more? Good. Continuing with that breath. Awesome. And coming back to the mat. Forehead melting into that mat. We're going to place our hands at our sides with our palms facing the heavens. We're going to do this pose one more time. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, and 3, we're going to lift both arms up off the mat, our head off the mat, looking ahead, and those feet right off the mat as well. And can we progress a little in our practice, moving forward, and can maybe we deepen that back bend just a bit, bringing those arms up a little more along with the feet, along with the shoulders. Good. And let that go. Laying on the belly. Good. Awesome. We are going to bring our hands up to our sides. We're going to press up. And then we're going to rotate onto our bums. Good. Swing those legs around. We're going to bring both feet together into cobbler's pose. So letting those knees fall to the side, cupping both feet with the hands. And then when you're ready, take a slight inhale. And as you exhale, forward fold over both of those feet. Getting in a little counter action of the low back there. Good. And then letting those feet go. We're going to bring them to the top of the mat. We're going to scooch our bums closer to the heels. And then we're going to slowly rock back onto our backs. Good. I want you to extend the left foot up into the air. Good. Nice straight leg. We're going to take the right ankle and we're going to place it over the left knee. We're going to take both hands. We're going to reach them on through, back behind the left leg. Use that right elbow to kind of press that right foot or right leg out of the way, but not too much. You really don't want to wrench on the right hip. You just want to use a little tension or resistance. And then pull that left leg towards the upper half of the body. Good, good, good. This stretch feels so yummy. This is lying pigeon. I am such a fan of pigeon. I normally do traditional pigeon in my classes, as you're aware, or in my practice, but I thought tonight I'd change it up a little bit for you. Good. And release that stretch and bring that left foot back to the mat. Place the right foot to the mat as well, next to the left. We're going to straighten out that right leg and we're going to bring that all the way up, foot planted against the heavens. We're going to take that left ankle and we're going to place it over the right knee. Take both hands, reach on through behind the right leg, using that left elbow to kind of push that left knee out of the way. And we're going to pull that right leg towards the upper half of our body. Being careful not to scrunch up those shoulders as you pull the right leg. I'm notorious for that, so I'm trying to be mindful of that myself, but feel that nice stretch in the gluteus, or actually it's the piriformis muscle. This is where if you get sciatic nerve pain, we're stretching that muscle that gets tight around that sciatic nerve, hopefully releasing that for you. Good. And it feels so yummy. Good. Release behind that right leg. Bring both feet down to the mat. Good. Place the knees together, feet far apart. We're going to lay here for just a moment. We're going to take in about 3 breaths before we move into our next posture. Okay, we're going to rock ourselves up to a seated position. I want you to take your bolster or your blanket or your pillows, whatever suits you for Shavasana, but that's where we're going to head, is to Shavasana. We're going to do something a little different. So if you have a blanket, you can either put it on top of you or to add some additional padding underneath that right hip. We're going to lay on our right side for Shavasana. And then you can also use a pillow for your head. I'm going to use my right bicep, but I'm going to place my bolster in between my legs. So get into a comfortable position that feels nice and yummy, nice and restorative. We're going to have a very relaxed, restorative, right-sided Shavasana tonight. So just because we're in a different position doesn't mean we don't do that body scan like we did at the beginning of the class, where we run through our head, the shoulders, the hips and the low back, and where do you still sense tension? And if you do, let those areas go, maybe shift postures if you need to. We're just going to lay here for the next 3 to 4 minutes and embrace this stillness. Friends, please stay in Shavasana as long as you need or desire. This is such a nice restorative posture for Shavasana, so don't feel that you need to move. But I'm going to close with this. In the NLT version, in Psalm 37:7, it says, "Be still in the presence of the Lord and wait patiently for him to act." Don't worry about evil people who prosper or fret about their wicked schemes. So friends, our heart's desire is the stillness, to be away from the chaos, to settle our minds, to settle our hearts. But how do we do that? By sitting still in the presence of the Lord and waiting patiently for him to act. Don't worry about the world. Don't worry about anything else. Just patiently wait in the presence of the Lord. Make God the utmost delight and pleasure of your life, and he will provide for you what you desire most. Thank you for practicing with me today, friends. It is more of a blessing than you will ever know. I hope you go on with your day, with your week, and you find peace off the mat as you did on the mat. Thanks, and I'll see you again on your mat next time.